And welcome back to a brand new What If. Yes, it's a Dragon Ball 1. I've been over this before. The majority of the Naruto and Dragon Ball, majority of the What Ifs I get are Dragon Ball Naruto based. And I'm going in ascending order, or, I'm going, by people here. So that's just the next one that came up. Other ones will eventually come, but it's just another Dragon Ball 1. Let us move on. So this is What If Goku. Now, here's the thing I just want to address real quick. A lot of times people will give me two what ifs that basically mean the same thing but aren't worded in the same manner. What I mean by that is, what if Goku landed at Capsule Corp when he was adopted by Kami? Now, being adopted by Kami is a separate one than landing at Capsule Corp. Not Capsule Corp, but Kami's Lookout. Duh. Landed at Kami's Lookout and was adopted by Kami. Basically, what I can gather is, and I'll use an example in a little bit, when people mean, what if he landed at the Lookout, they're probably assuming that Kami's going to, take him in or something like that. But let's be clear, that's not necessarily the case. However, when I get people who ask, what if Goku was adopted by Kami, well, then he probably would have had to have landed at the Lookout for that to happen to begin with. So what I did is I just kind of merged the two together. It's kind of like, what if Naruto was a Senju versus what if Naruto had wood release. Because I'll tell you right now, Naruto being a Senju but not having wood release means jack shit to the entire thing of the series. Because Kushina had the name Uzumaki, but even if she was a Senju, and I'm going off a little bit here, but Senju, he'd still be an Uzumaki, just be a Senju. He might have slightly stronger chakra. That's all. That's all it means. But obviously, when people ask what if he was a Senju, they're probably just assuming that I'm going to include wood release in there, and that's not the case. Hashirama's the only one who had wood release. So, yeah. Now that said, obviously that's a different thing for a different time. So this is obviously what if Goku had landed at the Lookout and was taken in by Kami and Mr. Popo, the most unusual couple they ever coupled. That's not true. We know that's not true. But so, yeah, how does this take place? Well, first and foremost, he lands at the Lookout. Now, the Lookout, when you actually see it in this image here, is actually pretty spacious. We never actually get a proper respect for how big the Lookout actually is. You see, it's not very well shown in this image here. Let me see if I can move this up a little bit. Yeah. You can see how scripted that is. There's multiple rooms and stuff, and it's actually a very big place. So it can land in there, it can crater it, but ultimately it's not going to damage the thing beyond, recognition. By the way, holy crap, I forgot to give the shout. This comes to us from Dark Pyrokinesis, Eugene H5, or HH5, Jordy Ramirez, Evan Apaz, and Mason Long. Moving on. I always want to give the shout out. I always want to give a proper shout out. And I'm just going to expand that real bit. There we go. So Goku lands, Kami and Popo are just are coming out. It's what was that? It's I'm not sure, Kami. It seems to be a spacecraft of some kind. It's not Namekian. It's not similar to mine. It's clearly something different. No, and it opens up, and you see, it's a child. Little baby Goku's there. And it's oh, hello, little one. How are you? And now calm down. Because we know that Goku definitely was fighting back at first. But ultimately, he, Popo drops him. He's like, no. It's Kami just watches, it's oh, my dear boy. Oh, dear. It's are you okay? He's like, oh, aren't you adorable? What should we do with him, Kami? And Kami's just looking at him. It's he's clearly not human. Not human, that tail. I'm not familiar with any race on this planet that has he could blend in. Though he looks not much different than a normal human. Perhaps we could remove it, and perhaps we can remove the tail, Kami, and have him live among the people below. Or maybe not even that. Maybe we could set him up with someone. And let's be clear. I know where people want me to have this go, and it's gonna go there. But let me play a little. This is how he could have gone and just ruined people's day. It's very well. Find a suitable host. There's an old martial artist that lives in the mountains, and they drop him off a grip. Go on, and there you go. And he still kills Gohan, and everything goes fine the exact same way, except they do know about Goku, so they keep tabs on Goku. That's about it. But obviously, that's not what you want. It's what if they actually took him in, and but he's clearly not human. Perhaps he's got potential. And Kami is sensing it. And remember, Goku's power as a kid was not impressive. I think it's like a 2 in terms of our number readings. But it's still, but the latent potential he was obviously, we know where Goku ends up. His latent potential is off the charts, and Kami can sense this. His potential was overall is nothing very impressive. I sense a great amount of potential in this boy. It's like, are you thinking of raising it? Are you thinking of taking him in, Kami, to nurture him and be your successor? That will be up to him when the time comes. However, having another aide we are unable to interfere with the issues of man. However, he would not be subject to such law. We could raise him to be a true protector of this planet. Well, it's true, Kami. They have a conversation while Kami and Popo are Kami's the guardian, Popo's his attendant. They can't really. I mean, clearly there's some sort of stipulation where the Guardian can't interfere with Earth, like the goings on, like stopping wars or anything. There must be some rule against that. Otherwise, Kami would have done that years ago. But obviously, when Piccolo arrived, King Piccolo and Piccolo Jr., it's clear he made an exception. Like he went against the rule, or there was some sort of exception to the rule when it came to King Piccolo. But Goku wouldn't have that issue, and they realized this might be a good opportunity, and so they decided to take Goku in and raise Goku. Now, Mr. Popo, I want to be very clear. Kami's power level and Mr. Popo's power level, real quick, because having them train is obviously power level. Training him is going to be a big thing here, and power level is big here. Kami's power level, it's not really Kami power, not power level, not Kami power. It's the movie panel for DBZ Tree and Might states that his power is right around 400, which actually, I mean, that does seem to make some sense. Although other power, I mean, we know Piccolo Jr.'s power was only around 200s, and King Piccolo's was somewhere around there as well. I mean, upper 200s, but you know what I mean. But the fact that Kami was that strong does make sense, and it also makes sense that when he possessed the guy to fight with Piccolo Jr., his power would have been decreased because he was in a human body. So that actually makes sense. It does, and obviously he wouldn't be strong enough to take Rads on at all. But Mr. Popo's power level, see, that one is that's never really stated. See, Popo apparently has a power level of 300, but according to a 1989 issue of Weekly Shonen Jump, Mr. Popo's power level during the Saiyan Saga is 1030. And Popo, let's also be clear, in the Buu arc, was able to effectively block for a good long while Trunks and Goten and hold on to them. Like, Mr. Popo's power is very suspect. If we were to assume right now that his power was around 300, but that he actually grew and trained, I guess we can make an argument his power is probably in the millions by the time of the Buu saga. But it still wouldn't be a match for like Super Saiyan or like Trunks or Goten or anything like that. But he's clearly still able to keep up with them. Now, to be fair, also, Popo does display aspects of what would be considered like the baselines of Ultra Instinct. He can move. He's got reacting without reacting. He can move without reacting. But obviously, he doesn't quite have that down. Now, during Goku's time there, obviously, the Great Ape issue would come up. And when they see him transform, they would be shocked. But they immediately do what they can to try to quell him. But there's nothing they could do. Now, keep in mind, where would Goku be at this time in his power level? Well, but before we even go into what Goku's like personality-wise, Goku's power level, I mean, we know that his power level is only about a 10 when he meets Bulma. But here, because he'd be training under Popo and Kami, as well as, having access to the training facilities of the Lookout, I mean, his power being easily 100, I could see that no problem at this point in his life. But more important, that means his power's 1,000 when he goes grade 8, and they're trying to deal with that, and they're struggling to deal with this. Deal with the Goku rampaging. Violet's like, Goku, it's me, Kami, and Popo, your friends, your guardians. It's like, please, it's like, Goku, look at us, and Goku's just so Goku, please, calm, Goku, it's not me, Popo, and then just Goku's. It's just, he's able to finally calm down. Just he's fine, and he doesn't like shrink down immediately, but he's just like, he's like, that's it, Goku. Good, it's okay. It's like, that's it, Goku. You can calm down now. It's okay. Then he just boom. He's like, what happened? We're not quite sure, Goku. It probably has to do with your heritage. Now, backtracking quick. How is Goku's relationship with Kami? What's the relationship like? Well, I mean, he's still a kid. He still goes, he's still very rambunctious. He's got the whole lookout, sure. But does he spend his whole life on the lookout? I mean, he visits Korin. Korin does some training with him, sure. Because Korin and they're connected and all that. But does he go down to the planet? I do believe he does go down to the planet. I do believe that Popo, like with the magic carpet, and Kami tells him like to take Goku, make sure that he does interact with people, so he understands what he's ultimately being raised, what they're training him to uphold and protect ultimately. And Goku's looking around, it's like, wow, the people. So he would definitely have moments of going to the planet and meeting people. Now, in terms of his personality, he's not book smart in the same sense like a Bulma is. He's not a genius or anything like that, but he's definitely has a better grasp of the world as a whole. He's not ignorant to the ways of the world. He's not incompetent. He understands what a woman is. But at the same time, he's still naive and innocent in many ways. Still needs to experience more of the world as he grows up. Furthermore, Popo and Kami flat out tell him, just because he knows he looks different than them, but he doesn't look much different than the other people, that he is an alien. Goku, we should know right now. When he was old enough, because he was like 12, if I'm not mistaken. He couldn't count right, didn't know basic math. That he gets a basic math lesson here. But so when he's like 9, or like when they feel he's old enough, probably in his upper single digits, they explain to us like, you're not human. We found you in this ship when you were young. We don't know exactly what your race is, but it's something powerful. It's something powerful, as you see, stronger than an average human. You've grown leaps and bounds just in this young time here. And you can we'll continue to train you and grow as you grow stronger. It's like, wow, I'm not human. It's like, but neither am I. Neither is Popo. That does not mean we're not family. Family doesn't have to be by blood. It can be by bond. It's like, well, thank you, Kami. I appreciate everything. Oh no, who's hungry? I'm hungry. It's like, and Kami just has to be young. So that is kind of Goku's life a little bit. I mean, definitely gets some form of education from Popo and Kami to help, strengthen his actual knowledge. Training with Popo, even though he's nowhere near as strong as Popo or Kami at that time, Popo definitely ingrains the whole react without reacting thing, basically. Move without reacting. Or react without thinking, basically, is what I was trying to get at with that. And that's something surprising that Goku gets down pretty early. Obviously, it's not true Ultra Instinct or anything like that. But it's basically, his instincts just kick in and so he's basically got a rudimentary form, but it's not going to be like the divine version the gods use. That clearly involved the God Ki, or Divine Ki. But overall, he actually he's an effective fighter. He's much more skilled than he is in the early stages where he had rudimentary martial arts training and survival training. He's been training with Popo and Kami occasionally just to keep Kami's skills up. And Kami's like, I must admit, I am very impressed by how far you've come, Goku. He's like, thanks, Kami. Thank you, Kami. I appreciate it. Now, keep in mind, too, I said he was around 100 when he went grade 8. But that's when he killed Grandpa Gohan too. We don't know when that happened. We know that he was on his own for a while afterwards, probably for a year or two. So probably around 10, I'm guessing, maybe longer. Again, they never actually indicate how long it had been. But so Goku has clearly increased his strength at that point as well. Plus, he gets to now makes use of not the Room of Spirit Time. I can never remember the other one, but the one where he went back into like the past and stuff like that. Training in different scenarios to strengthen himself. Again, training with Popo. Popo is just impressed by this kid's by the way this kid just grows and increases in strength. It just keeps getting back up and keeps coming back for more. In terms of like energy key attacks, he does learn just basic key attacks too, I think. And he could even learn the rudimentary forms of flight. That I think it would still take some time. But by the time the whole Bulma thing would happen, his power has probably doubled at that point. So he's probably around 200. And he's got a better diet. So even though he's still a shrimp, he's a little taller. But he'll obviously grow into it. But more to the point, how does the whole relationship with Earth go? Well, when Bulma comes to find the Dragon Ball, she just finds an old man. She finds Grandpa Gohan there and says, can I have that Dragon Ball, please? That thing, please? Oh, yes, I found it in the woods one day. I thought it was very pretty. It must have been, thought it was possibly valuable. But if you feel you need it, then I have no actual attachment to it. If you want it, it's yours, young lady. Thank you. I was like, tell me, what do you need it for anyway? Well, and she's a little dubious, but he seems like a nice guy. Doesn't seem like a pervert at all. We don't know Grandpa Gohan was a pervert, although there's some implication he might have been. But it's like she explains, like, oh my, that seems very dangerous. Dangerous. You sure you'll be okay on your own? I'll be fine. I'll be fine. I've been fine this far, haven't I? True, but you never know. Some nefarious individuals may also go after the Dragon Balls. It's like, nefarious? It's like, hunters, thieves, even that dreaded Red, you never know, the Red Dragon Army themselves could go after it. It could happen. It's like, oh, there is. She's like, the Red Women are, oh, I didn't even think about that. It's like, well, if you'd like, I would be willing to come with you and protect you. And thinking me as kind of your bodyguard. No offense on that, but can you really? And he just does a quick like martial arts. And it's like, just me, I can handle myself. It's like, oh, you're a martial artist. Indeed, I was trained by the great master Roshi himself. It's like, oh, thank you. I would appreciate it. Wait, what's the catch? Like, oh no, okay, no, don't get anything. Oh, I hope you didn't mistake me as some sort of pervert or something, right? No, I just feel it'd just be nice to get out of the house and get some adventure back into my life. It's like, all right then. And so they are off on the adventure, which they find Turtle. Ron's like, Growhud, oh Turtle, how have you been? Like, oh, I'm just fine, thanks. It's like, oh man, thanks for saving me. It's like, and they go, it's like, oh Roshi. It's like, Gohan, how you been? Oh, you're looking. Oh, you need this Dragon Ball? Wow. I mean, I just found it on my beach one day. Thought it looked nice. If you need it though, I suppose if Gohan's vouching for you, I can give it to you. There you go. Then they take care of Oolong very quickly. Boss Carrot also is probably taken care of very quickly. He beats the living crap out of Yamcha. And ultimately, the Pilaf gang, too, because Goku's Kamehameha was very weak at that time, whereas Gohan's would not be, and Gohan's smart enough to aim for the glass. Don't try to go through the foot-long wall of, or foot-thick wall of steel. You aim for the glass! That always bugged me. It's like, aim for the glass! Anyway. And all this time that this is going on, they're just keeping eyes on things. Goku actually would occasionally look down and, try to sense how Popo and Kami taught him to about what's going down there. And he does pick up that someone is trying to gather the Dragon Balls. And because I was like, hey, Kami, Popo, I just thought you might want to know. And by the way, in terms of wardrobe, I think this is actually a very prudent time to bring this up because we don't know what Goku's wardrobe looks like right now. I like the idea of him wearing the Jin pants that Popo wears, and maybe a vest, but also a shirt. Goku probably is fine going shirtless, but maybe like a long black shirt that has like Kami's symbol on there, and maybe like a white vest over it. I think that'd be kind of a nice look on him, I think. And I don't think he wears the turban. Or he could just be wearing the outfit he wore when he came back from the martial arts tournament. or he came back from training with them and for the martial arts tournament. But Fernand's like, is it okay if people are looking for the Dragon Balls? Like, no worries, Goku. People look for the Dragon Balls all the time, but someone can usually only find one or two. Well, these guys seem to have found nearly all of them. Hmm. Now, keep in mind, too, the Dragon does get summoned from time to time, and Kami's clearly aware of it. But normally, he just doesn't get involved. It's like, get involved. And I doubt the Dragon has actually been used very often. I think that's one of the reasons he just either noticed it and didn't do anything about it, or whatever. It's like, well, it seems they have had a long and arduous journey. For them to be able to do that, and they're able to collect Dragon Balls, is quite the impressive feat. They've earned their wish. It's like, oh, all right. It's like, as long as what happens to the mortal world isn't technically our concern. Is our concern, but unfortunately my guardianship prevents me from actually interfering. Although, Goku, if you felt it prudent to get involved, you yourself could step in if you wanted to. He's hinting, what hopefully they've been training Goku up for. Goku thinks on it, and he's basically, senses he's like, what are you doing? I'm trying to figure out if what their intentions are. It's like, so what are you going to wish for, Bulma? It's like, oh, I'm gonna wish for the perfect boyfriend. It's like, oh, she's gonna wish for a boyfriend. It's like, and Goku is at least aware of this concept. He's still young, so he doesn't really care that much about it, but he's aware of what the concept is. Like, should we get involved in that? It's like, well, it is a selfish wish, admittedly, but she earned her right to wish it, so leave her be. And Goku's kind of on. He's like, all right. And she wishes for the perfect boyfriend. Now, the question is, if she had gotten that wish back then, what would have actually happened? I mean, as she developed in life as personality-wise, obviously Vegeta became the perfect, companion, perfect mate, I guess we'll put it. Perfect husband, boyfriend, companion, mate, whatever for her. But at that time, was Yamcha the perfect boyfriend? Probably not either. So I guess what happens when you when you're wishing for the perfect boyfriend? The dragon, I think actually the dragon. Here's my little way around this actually, and it makes sense. It's like the dragon's like, I cannot grant that wish. It's like, what? What do you mean you can't grant that wish? There's even Kami, who's probably listening in on this, just like curious of what's going on. Goes like, They're both going to say, perfection is a subjective term. What is perfect for one is not perfect for another. Therefore, I cannot grant that wish. Speak another wish. It's like, indeed, oh dear. Oh, and they're just trying to think of what is like. Well, oh man! But so now they're just wondering what the wish was. Like, you're wasting my time. Speak your wish so I may go. And finally, he's like, He's like, I think I can help them out. It's like, oh, Goku, what you haven't done? Hey, Popo, can I borrow the magic carpet? Well, certainly, Goku. And I'm sure Goku knows how to use it. So it's just instant transportation. He's like, a man's like, maybe I can be of help. It's like, huh? It's like, and who are you, my boy? It's like, oh, I'm Kakarot. Truthfully told, his name's not Kakarot. I imagine Goku works. They still call him Goku. They could have named him something different, but because even if I named him something different, I'm gonna keep calling him Goku. So let's just call him Goku. So yeah, hey Shenron, Shenron. I wish that these two have had a long and arduous trip. I wish them a safe trip back home. It's like, very well, your wish is granted. It's like, what? It's like, I mean, that's very nice of you, but who are you? What did you do? You just wasted our wish. Like, no, I didn't. I made sure that you'd get home safely. And that's the only thing you can really, it's the best thing you can hope for. It's like, who are you? As for who I am, I'm Goku. I'm the adopted apprentice of both Mr. Popo and Kami. It's like, Kami? Now, Gohan probably is aware of Kami, but he's never met the man or anything like that. It's like, Kami, Popo, I've heard of him. You mean the guardian of the earth, Kami? I assumed he was only a legend. Oh no, he's not a legend. He's the guy who created the Dragon Balls. He's really awesome. He can be a bit grumpy sometimes, but he's a good guy at heart. Kami's like, I heard that, young man. Sorry, Kami. It's like, wait, but who are you? What? I'm still confused. Where'd you come from? Oh, I came from the lookout on my flying Mr. Popo's flying carpet. Speaking of which, I should probably get back there. But he actually looks about. By the way, I mean, if you're looking for a boyfriend, all, I mean, do you have to really wish for it? I mean, if wish for a boyfriend, it's like, wait, you were watching that? It's like, yeah, I mean, the perfect boyfriend. Sherman's right. Perfection doesn't really exist in this world. Try to just find someone who likes you for you. And Bulma actually has a blush on that. It's like, anyway, bye. It's like, what? Son of a, what just happened? It's like, so things are quite good. Things are good. I think I was right. This was totally worth going out of the house for. It's like, how did I do, Kami? It's like, apart from calling me grumpy from some time, I think you've handled that very well, Goku. It's like, well, you can be. It's like, and you can be an annoying little twerp sometimes. You know that? And he just has they have a bit of a grandfather-grandson letter. And so part 1 ends with them having a nice little laugh. So join us again for part 2 next Saturday. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, if you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know we'll review it at some point. Hit that bell if you want to be notified. I got my I got my Pokemon team video tomorrow, box office, and one more who would win. So that's what's up on the list for tomorrow. And then I got the who would win for on Monday, box office, death battle prediction, and hopefully a review for Quiet Place 2. My car probably needs to go in to get to just get looked at. It's nothing. It doesn't look like it's anything serious, but if hopefully I'll be able to get out to Quiet Place 2. And yes, Spirit, the damn horse animated film. I'll do that sometime next week. I also want to see Conjuring Part 3 though, so give me a break here. The beauty of the theaters being open up through the week now, I can see multiple movies now. A lot easier. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. See you later. Oh, and hit that bell if you want to be notified.